our table. Oh god, we're already live. We were not on the start screen. I will go to the start screen. Just pretend this isn't even here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to AniPod Presents the In-Quy'zz-ition, hosted by yours truly, me, Dippy, the lovely DM, and these are all of my lovely players. Say hi, lovely players.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And today, we are finally picking up where 2 sessions ago probably should have been. And we are going to continue the main storyline that we have had up to this point, with the mayor offering brunch to our lovely gang, and they are going to do that in this episode, along with maybe probably some other things. But until that point, you may notice that one of our players is not here, and you may have posited from my pre-stream dialogue that you were only hearing one side of because I left my microphone on, that it is because Dono's internet is very slow. He is restarting his computer in an attempt to fix it. He may be here. He might not be here. So for the time being, he isn't here. So until we do that, I just closed tabletop audio.
Also,
Why'd you do that?
posited is a great word.
It is. Dippy has a great vocabulary.
Amazing vocabulary. I'm envious.
I try to use big words like him sometimes. I really photosynthesize on the dictionaries.
So, this is called Medieval Market. It sounds really nice. Hey, look at that.
Big.
Also, you can't hear it.
hear
Hold
it.
on,
I
wait.
was gonna say, share
Wait.
the audio would probably make
There
it
we
sound
go.
even nicer.
There we go.
Ooh, pretty.
Ooh.
So, let's go through these before Dono gets back and or doesn't. Starting with Tabletop Audio. Tabletop Audio, the wonderful source of music and sound effects and sound pads that you can use to activate whatever you need for your audio experience in your tabletop games, whether those be online or at the table. You can share your sound effects and your backing tracks with your players using Tabletop Audio as the middleman for the server. And you can hook it up to your voice assistants like Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa, and you can have Tabletop Audio linked to your online games just through their website. You can go to their Patreon and support them for longer versions of backing tracks and more tracks. You can buy merch from them, and the only thing that they ask of you if you use them in an online game like we're doing now is to give them a shout, and that's what we're doing here. So thank you, Tabletop Audio, for being music to our ears. Also, we have our special event that already passed, or, well, special event. We missed Dapperties this past Monday. Apologies to you regular Monday viewers who missed me and Dono and Dadley's lovely faces. It's just one of those days that we didn't have the strength to continue. But now we do.
We were all sleepy boys.
Yeah. Well, though you two were.
We're a unit.
We will return. We will return.
If I'm sleepy, you're sleepy.
We will return. We will return this coming Monday with a special Thanksgiving episode.
All you can eat.
All you can eat at the Smash or Pass Monster Manual Buffet. So please tune in on Monday when you question our life choices. We question our life choices. Tuesday is another episode of Crossroads. And after that...
What's the deal with that mind flare?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is probably a mind flare, but Dono just doesn't want to say it. So, tune in for those upcoming shows. What else? What else? What else? Anybody else got any personal announcements of note?
I'm alive.
That's
Me too,
beautiful.
and
Woohoo!
I almost wasn't.
Oh my god. Yeah, also, please give a warm welcome back to our lovely Tabaxi cat, Mirthy, aka Allie, who was off last week for
I got hit
health.
by a truck.
Yeah. They're the one willing to say that. We didn't
Yeah.
want to insinuate anything last week, so.
You can always say why I've gone. I'm not worried about it.
Okay, well there you go. Noted and duly noted. Yeah. We're glad that you are feeling a lot better this week.
Yes.
Me too.
So, with that all said, and Dono's still not here, unfortunately, we will kick off the episode proper then, I suppose. With a recap. So last week was kind of a fun episode.
I'm real tight with a god.
Yes. Last week, the goddess of the open water and seas, Umberly, who was Zog's patron deity for his clerical worship, decided to surprise Zog on his birthday with a series of trials and tests to prove...
What a great gift.
Yeah, to prove Zog's worthiness of receiving one of the greatest gifts that any god could bestow upon one of their disciples. Zog is now Umberly's champion and chosen. Comes with a lot of perks, comes with a lot of responsibilities. We're gonna dive into those probably after brunch.
We have brunch first.
We have
Then
brunch
we'll figure
first.
it out.
But a couple sessions ago, and merely 24 hours ago in game time, or 12 hours ago in game time, the mayor of the town was highly grateful for the banishment of a Malak Bel demon from his quarters, and it promised the entire party, the entire rescuing party, a spot of a meal. It was really late in the evening when it was taken care of a couple of sessions ago, so he promised brunch for the party. It's not brunch without the bottomless mimosas.
Drag
And drag queen. Oh, we love it.
I don't go to the right brunches though.
We'll have to see what kind of brunch this ends up being.
What type
It is
of
a-
mayor is
It's
this?
like a government funded brunch. It depends on the government at that point. So we finally pick up in the morning, not too long after Zog became Umberlee's chosen. We pick up on the deck of the SS Toad Skipper. And Skipper.
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 Can I
And
get a long rest? Sorry,
yes.
to interrupt.
yes,
Okay,
of course, of course. And you had an assistant, you had an assistant to the mayor show up outside your boat and begin to escort you to the place where you will be having your brunch.
I just ate so much seafood. I am not hungry.
Yeah, I was about to say, everybody just kind of had a lot of food at the party, except Allie. Allie, you wake up...
I got sick, so
Yeah.
Nope.
Exactly.
I'm quite picked.
Yeah. So you're the only one who's really hungering right now, as the rest of your party look different. They
I
look
feel
like
like
they've been
Quinlan-
escorted this morning.
I feel like Quinlan has metabolism of like a 14-year-old boy.
Oh,
Just,
yeah.
like bottomless pit can keep eating. Like
Absolutely.
all the calories Quinlan burns on a daily basis.
I will neither confirm nor deny.
It will
anything.
neither confirm nor deny. So yeah, as the rest of you kind of follow your way behind this assistant to the mayor, you have a little bit of time before you reach your destination. If there was anything any of you wanted to discuss or RP, but if not, we'll just
Okay.
jump straight there.
Okay, so Allie, here's what happens.
I'm just disappointed I wasn't brought any of this food that you all have mentioned.
And like Zog reaches in his pocket and he has like 2 crab legs. He's like, "Do you want?" I was saving these for something else. But
I
if
mean,
want
you
'em-
can save them. I'm just, I feel
Okay.
a little left out of the
I
food
apologize.
intaking.
Yeah, there was a lot of water as well. Like everything
was-
was wet.
Did not want to partake in that.
Well, Willow, I have crab legs if you want to make them alive again. He just puts them back in his pocket.
That's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
yes, it is.
So like I had one trial that I had to hold my breath and I thought my gun would help me and it didn't, and now I don't know why I thought my gun would help me. I had one trial that I had to fight this dude. I should have written
you
down
win?
the trials. I won. Yeah, no, I won them all. And
Good job.
now I'm a champion of a god. I'm a champion of Umberlee. She asked me to kill somebody already. We'll see how that goes later on.
Sounds like a lot of work.
It doesn't have to be right now. It could be after brunch. It could be whenever you are feeling up and ready for it. I was wondering if you do another reading on me to see if I'm worried I'm different.
Yeah, we can. You don't
Like, am I-
seem much different from the
I don't-
outside, but
I don't feel much different. I mean, I feel stronger. I feel really strong. But like, I don't know. I just want to, I don't know. You're such a good vibe check. You're a good soundboard.
Zog also has
after
a new
brunch, then.
Zog also has a new wisdom about his voice. It sounds more aged, more matured.
It's because I'm 30 now.
How about we?
Exactly.
Because we're level 7 now.
Because we're level 7.
We age up. How about after brunch then?
After brunch. Okay.
I need to
Yes.
have
All right.
fuel before I commune with the spirits.
Yes.
The rest of you. Oh, Burk. You feel a little, you hear and feel a little ring in your pocket. Like,
Oh. I take out the ring with the initials that was found in Squawk.
no effect, but next to it in your pocket, you feel your sending stone
Oh.
that you were given from the guild.
Phone's ringing, picks up
Good
a
thought. Good thought.
Whoa.
Actually
Wrong direction.
contacting.
Talking into
Oh,
the
no,
ring. Hello.
okay. Yep.
Hello, doctor.
It's like, huh?
Analysis.
I pull out the sending stone.
Oh, good morning, Burk. How are things faring with your new group?
Things are faring very well, actually. I meant to contact you earlier. Yeah, things have been pretty interesting.
Oh, do tell, do tell.
Met an avatar of Umberly.
Oh! Hardly ever time to meet avatars of gods and goddesses nowadays. It must have been important.
We're in... What place are we in?
I
Starts
have
with an
this written
F.
down
I
somewhere.
remember that.
I
don't know what happened to my sticky notes.
Oh my god. It's in... You are in...
Fidance.
Fidance, that's right. I need to put a star next to Fidance to prove that y'all have already been to
Fidance.
Fidance now.
I knew it too.
Yep.
I swear.
All right.
And,
Yes,
we're
good
in
job.
Fidance now at the moment.
Going upriver then, are you?
Yes.
Well, whatever adventures await you there, we will talk more once a couple more have passed. Ta-ta for now. And you feel the disconnect. Although, pulling out the sending stone, you do pull the ring out with it, and you examine it like a little bit. Just like, you notice that the gem on it is less lustrous than when you first found it. It's duller than when you first found it.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
I have to remember some other things to tell him. Shit.
You
The
just
sending
call him
stone
back.
back in my pocket. I have to think about it.
Okay.
Think about
I have to remember.
it. So,
Bit eventful.
as you walk
This
through the
is-
streets of Fidance,
Have I gotten any confirmation really quick that the sending stone I sent to Petal is there yet? Or is it still just like
to
on its
pedal
way?
or to...
Quinlan needed a sending stone sent home, and I just added it to my plan. We spent
You
20
won't know.
minutes-
You won't know
Okay.
until the person who receives the package tries to contact you through it,
Sounds good.
and you haven't received a contact like that yet. So,
It was
Deal.
said it could take a couple of weeks to get there.
Oh, it was that long? Okay.
depending on the courier
Um,
service you used.
Yeah, and I don't remember if it was by land or by air, because by air was only like 4 or 5 days, if I remember right.
I don't know. All I know is I spent so much money on it.
Then we'll call it traveling by air, and it'll be maybe a couple more days,
Okay.
maybe 1 or 2 more days. So,
Sounds good.
as you make your way through the streets of Fidance, in tow behind the servant, to the town, you spot a couple of shop fronts, a couple of places as you're walking along, and there appears to be a Stringfellow. There appears to be a carpenter shop, a clothing store, just standard clothing, not armor or anything like that, just clothes. And towards the end of your trip, you see a large, what appears to be either shrine area or it looks like a shrine initially, but then you're like, wait a minute, there are like altars to multiple gods here. It is a communal place of worship for multiple gods of the realm to be recognized and worshipped at the same time. Offerings to be made. called the Mantle House. As you pass by the Mantle House, no altar to Umberly. Umberly is not one of the prime deities in the area. In fact, you actually see altars to the prime deities of the area. You see an altar to the mighty Atomus, which is it's a new type of deity. The mighty Atomus is kind of like a cult, has a cult-like following, where people believe that their radioactive power and their mutant power bestowed upon them by whatever Lyramite they dig up. The Lyramite was a gift from this god that is worshipped called the mighty Atomus. You don't know any of the ins and outs of who would be behind Atomus's facade, or if Atomus is in cahoots with something, or you're not entirely sure. Okay. You also see altars to Gond, the god of creation and craftsmanship. Rhyme, which I actually forgot to write down what Rhyme is the god of, or the goddess of. I need to look on D&D Beyond for that. Saloon and Miracle. Okay. Miracle, of course, being the basically the boatman of the River Styx is what Miracle is in this world. He is the guide along the pathway to the afterlife. Less of a wishing death upon everyone, but guiding people through death type thing.
Okay.
And I need to look up what Rhyme is the goddess of. Hold on. Talk
Reason?
amongst yourselves. No. Let Rhyme
No,
and
that's his brother.
reason reign once more.
Zog,
Yes.
I wanted to return your spear to you. I have procured my own.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Zog is just covered in weapons that he doesn't know what to do with things. I really needed that one. I appreciate it. And he just like slides it somewhere on his back.
I've been holding onto that for far too long.
The string guy, the guy that was playing strings, Zog puts the spear towards his like donation bucket. Just here you go, buddy.
A string fellow is a person who strings bows.
Oh, I thought it was a dude playing a string instrument.
You see a man playing a violin on the side of the road, a busker. You can wait. You're tipping the spear into his donations.
Don't beat the spear.
Which spear is this? Just your starting spear?
It's just a spear. It's just a spear.
You
Yes.
hand the spear to this man in like raggedy clothes playing a violin, and he just looks down, stops playing, looks back up at you, and is like, picks it up. Well, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Did a real job.
Roll an intimidation check.
Allie Snickers at that.
Holy shit!
Early Snickers.
Ooh, Quinlan just
Wow.
looks at you. The back of your head is just daggers.
Holy
3.
3? He cries.
Oh.
He doesn't get scared. He just like he just softly weeps as he goes back to playing his violin.
The mood is
Jesus
much better now.
Christ!
I mutter at him.
Oh,
Spits
will
the
let
sound of
that
a violin
pass.
much better.
I will let that pass as it is your birthday.
Oh, it is still my birthday. So much happened. So much happened.
Wow. Okay, apparently Rhyme is just not a god in D&D. I thought that they were. I will change them to something more appropriate.
You can just make him a god right now. You can just do whatever you want.
Rhyme, no. Is it in someone's backstory?
No, I
No.
worship the god Bakab.
What was it?
I worship the god Bakab,
Become.
god of magic. But no, I don't know anyone rhyme.
I have a list of gods. Where are they?
Where did I find?
No, rhyme's not in the list I have.
I've got a list of gods, but they're me trying to figure out who the hell it is that's who the hell it is with the coin and who the hell it was that traumatized him as a kid.
Apparently, a rhyme Hulk is a ice monster, an ice elemental. So I must have thought that they were a god of like ice or something like that.
He's a god of all water. Once when it's been frozen.
Once it's been frozen.
God of the winter.
God of the winter.
God of the winter. Actually, that's a good point. Who are the deities that I brought up with you? I will make it a shrine to Talos instead of Rhyme. Because Talos would actually be more versed than Rhyme would. More people would worship Talos.
Seeing that it is Talos, I'm gonna make a note to come back later after eating.
There you go.
Before we walk
On
off,
data right now to watch this. Oh my god.
after Zog said that, before we walk off, I'm just gonna put like 2 gold in the bucket for the man.
Why don't I have 0 in my charisma?
He takes a note. He looks down, looks back up to you, Burk, and tips his head. Some of the tears stop flowing, but he's still quite sad. He goes from outright sorrow to melancholy, knowing that he got a little bit of money out of it. What am I supposed to do with this? Get a real job? Jesus Christ.
Alright.
Why are you
I don't mean to derail really quick.
No, yeah,
Something's
you're
wrong
good.
with my character sheet. I have a +2 to my charisma and proficiency in intimidation, and it says I have a +0.
That's weird.
Yes.
I see that.
Karma.
Why do you...
Yeah, karma.
Karma.
It didn't
Instant
want me to be
karma,
good at
big.
that. Because you... Umberly gave me proficiency in intimidation.
Oh, right.
Then
So I'm-
I don't think that was updated
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
the
you have to...
DM5.
Okay, no, I got it. You have to update the... Wait.
I'm just gonna put +5 because that would be charisma plus proficiency.
Yeah, but why do all of your other charisma things have...
Yeah, that's what I
+2.
don't. Yeah, understand.
It's weird.
Very weird. Okay, I'll work on this while things happen.
I don't know. Well, there you go. Well, even with a +5, 8. It's decent. Not enough to scare him outright, though.
Yeah.
All right, so
Letting me remove gold from my inventory.
D&D Beyond is just being weird right now, apparently.
Just note down that I needed to remove 2.
This is just all reminding me of the Legends of Adventures video I saw that they put on their TikTok. That's like, D&D Beyond. Now you can fiddle around for 5 minutes. You can waste the same amount of time as you would have with a pencil and paper.
Yeah.
But hey, at least there will be fewer gray smudges in your immediate environment. And it's just like, that's all that D&D Beyond. We love using D&D Beyond, but holy shit, is it complicated to use sometimes. All right.
I'm good.
Good. So, you arrive at a different building than you anticipated. He mentioned that Brunch was going to be in, quote unquote, his quarters. What he didn't specify is that his quarters would be a communal, or not communal, but a dining hall that has been set up in town to be used for various events and purposes, but is mainly used by the mayor or by various government officials to host banquets for their own, for their own parties of like political intrigue or their playing politics with the shit. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, buddy.
And
Here we go.
immediately, you notice the environment is filled with more people than you anticipated. There seem to be, like, you seem to be the guests of honor at this banquet that has been set out before you. A large rectangular hall with tables abound and a what appears to be food like lined up all the way along the middle table in various courses and dishes and sizes and various cookings of different meats. There's and sides and sauces and condiments all laid out down the middle of this long banquet hall. It looks like there are some people here who are dressed up as if this is the fanciest occasion they've ever gone to, and some people who came in on their street clothes. They've been invited not necessarily as filler, but as, audience to what you were able to accomplish. At the head of the table, you see a set of 3 chairs. One that sits higher off the ground than the rest of them, with a couple of steps like carved into one of the legs, where you watch, or not watch, but you see the mayor, the dwarven mayor of the town, sitting atop this throne, this large chair. Throne is overstating it. It's a simple design. It's not like gaudy, but it's larger than the other 2 chairs. And in the other 2 chairs, you see the advisor, the orc, and the orc bodyguard that was standing next to the mayor when the original hullabaloo was happening yesterday. And they seem to be talking amongst themselves. So, as you all enter in, you actually have an opportunity here to kind of, if you so desired, eavesdrop on the conversations happening as you pass. Yes.
Definitely.
Yes, please.
So, if you would like to, I would ask that you roll a perception check. And if you beat the DC, I will have you roll another die to determine...
Natural 1.
I'm re-rolling
You're
that
nosy, but
because-
not very
18?
good at it.
18.
I'm a champion of a god.
You don't need to pay attention.
I don't.
Ooh, I like that number. I like that a lot. Considering my perception is...
I'll take I got a 16. Not
I'll
great.
take a total of 19.
I got a pass of a 20 though, but I got a 16 on my roll.
Ooh.
16, 19, 18, 1. And Willow?
10.
10. Okay. Burk, Allie, and Rhys, or Quinlan, rather. I want you all to roll a D100. Because I actually have a D100 chart for this.
Ooh.
Oh, should we be adding that to the book? Random conversations.
As you pass by these members, these esteemed members of the audience, you pick up on gossip and rumors that are kind of spreading. 43 or 34?
No, 64.
64. 64,
45.
45,
49.
49. Okay. Okay. 45. Who had 45? Quinlan.
Yes.
You pass by a couple, wine in hand, sipping, and the main point that you pick up from their conversation is the following. There we go. The oldest son. Did you hear? During a hunting accident, he got. Apparently, he got mangled or attacked by his prey, but you hear the other one kind of turn and say, I heard that it wasn't an accident. And you hear them go, really? Do tell. Well, apparently, I heard that somebody set a trap for him in the woods. And that's all you get as you pass by.
Okay, and that was Lord...
The oldest son of Lord Ronan, Ronan, was crippled in a hunting accident, but some say it was not an accident.
Okay.
49. Who got 49? This is going to be a fun one.
Oh, no.
Need to back up, go to a different race. Yeah, this will work. You pass by what appears to be... Okay, you know the clothing store that you passed by earlier? The name on the outside of the door was Zachariah's. And he had like a portraiture of his face, kind of, you know, a caricature of his face kind of hanging on his sign. And a person who very much matches Zachariah's look is standing with a circle around him. He appears to hold a lot of sway just by reign of him designing such fashionable clothes. He himself adorns a quite elegant-looking outfit of purples and yellows and autumnal colors. And he kind of giggles a little bit. Well, you know, darlings, you shouldn't be falling for such blatant lies set out by your elders. Duke Elbert's hair is completely fabricated. It's enchanted by the local temple every week. It's a piece. It's not even real. And I would know. He told me last time he came into my shop. And that's what you get. Duke Elbert's hair is completely fake. He gets it enchanted by the local temple every week.
Interesting.
And finally, you said 64?
64.
That actually kind of fits in with what they're doing. So you pass by a group of familiar-looking commoners that were standing outside of the house when you were originally doing your escapade, and the loudest among them, a little halfling boy, is kind of like standing on a soapbox, proclaiming loudly to the crowd your deeds as a party. And he says to the crowd, "Boy, wouldn't I tell you if I saw everything. They charged straight into that house, and they showed that demon what was what for. But that's not the only thing they did, no." And he continues, "I heard that they went upriver and they fought a kraken and won." And I will quote the flavor of the text. "The party did a cool thing. List a cool thing that they did and a wildly awesome thing that they didn't do."
Can I like lean over and whisper as we pass?
Mm-hmm.
It was 2 kraken. And then keep walking.
He like gasps, and as you continue to walk, he's like, 2! It was 2! I have it on good authority that it was 2 krakens that the party fought! And all of the crowd is like, whoa! And like a little bit of applause at the... And
Just giggling to myself a little bit, snickering.
And there you go. That's a fun little thing that I had. A D100 table of rumors, plots, or pieces of gossip. And Zog is not here. Great. Fantastic. Wonderful. Unbelievable. Well. So. As you all walk up towards the head of the table, the mayor, who I swear to God, one of you wrote a note for that I did not. I apologize for that.
Note about what the mayor looks like, or
The mayor.
Drummond?
Drummond. Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Drummond.
Mayor Drummond takes notice of you, and he hops down off of his chair. Literally. Feet fall. He falls for like a foot or two before he lands on the floor. His advisor and his bodyguard get up, and you see Mayor Drummond like snap his fingers, and the orc bodyguard kind of like rolls his eyes, just and leans down and creates like a step with his large green hands. And Drummond takes a step inside his hands, and the bodyguard lifts him up. And Drummond is now, instead of a few feet below you, he is now eye level with most of you. And he looks to your party. He goes, "My brothers and sisters, please welcome our most esteemed guests, the saviors of our little town." And you hear the crowd begin to cheer in a sound effect that I did not prepare for. What? Oh yeah, there we go.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, cheers.
Oh wow, what a.
There we go.
Oh.
There
It
we
started
are.
so tame, like they don't give a
Yeah.
fuck, and then it
Well,
got really
I mean,
big.
he didn't get everybody's attention. And you hear the crowd kind of gather around you, and he says to you as a group, "It was a great and onerous thing that you did for us. Our sincere thanks are to be offered in your way, and we hope that this bountiful feast we have laid out for you will suffice as a start. Please, dig in." And you hear a large bell off in the distance. Oh, I thought I had a sound effect for this too. You hear a large bell off in the distance ring, and the crowd kind of gathers around the table and picks up the plates from where they were set at the table and start like making a circular like path around the table to kind of fill up their plate with whatever they're wanting to eat. And he says, "This table is for you lot." And he has a different table set aside with some nicer cuts and qualities of like a large mutton chop and a pork butt and a couple of other finer cuts of meat, more well done, with more fresh looking fruits and appetizing bites and morsels laid out for you to indulge upon as a party. Some of you look at this table and are quite full already. Some of you look at this table and you got sick from the last things you ate and or drank and are not quite appetized right now. Allie, you look upon this table starved.
Filling my plate.
Yeah.
I am filling multiple plates, actually.
Yes.
I think you should have some. This is so good.
Wait, is that Monk? Is that Drunken Monk in the chat right now?
I don't have YouTube open.
It's
Shit.
Matthew Richards. I think that's Monk.
Brunch.
Monk! If that's you, I'm so happy to see you again.
Yeet the halfling.
Yeet. Woo! Yeah, just pick up the halfling and just throw him across the room. No. All right. So, as you begin besetting your feast, The party continues. It commences and continues, and you hear a more lively tune. A more lively tune. There we go. Kick up, and in the corner you see a band. You see a merry band kind of come together with a couple of hand drummers, a couple of lutists, a flautist, all kind of playing this tune for you, the party, as the eatery is beginning to be consumed. And he offers you all seats around the head table, the separate table from the main table where the table had the table on it. So there's the long table with a majority of the food on it. There's the head table with the seats around it and the mayor's seat, and there's the food head table which had your food on it, separate from the other table. There's a lot of tables. Yeah. Over
So we
here.
go get
and
the food and then
so
go
you get
back.
the food, and then you
Yeah.
go back to the table where, and then you set around that table. There's a
Why-
nice centerpiece with a floral arrangement and some candles, and it looks rather royal. You know, it looks like he dressed up the town for you.
Allie is eating as fast as possible, and I just rolled an 8 on my Constitution saving throw, so I definitely am choking in between bites.
You
but
said
I'm
an
not
8?
stopping. I rolled an 8 on my Constitution saving throw to not
8.
choke.
Yeah, you're like nomming down on all this food that's laid before you, and
Very
then all of a sudden you
inelegantly.
pick up something that you don't quite recognize has a bone in it until you stick it in your mouth, and it goes about halfway down. You're just like you have to like yank it out of your windpipe. Not fun. Definitely not fun.
I just set that to the side and go back to eating things that I
Just a
understand.
raw chicken bone just sitting on the table. And the mayor looks to you and he goes, "Well, may I say it is certainly serendipitous that you came our way in such a trying time. Please, let us hear more of your exploits. I would love to be able to contribute to your current adventures in any way that I can, and to hear about your past adventures so you may be lauded in our halls in the most historically confirmable and accurate way. You have indeed been a help and you have indeed been a pleasure and a help to us so far. So please, divulge and indulge." And he notices you, Zog, in a much more like refined regalia than you had yesterday. And he's like,
Yes.
"Seems like somebody was busy in between last night and this morning. Getting all dressed up for our fine occasion, were you?
You could say something like that.
Well, 'tis a wonder that you 'tis a wonder you have gotten as far as you have, looking as good as you do."
Zog is also I didn't want to interrupt. Zog is doing the same as Allie, just scarfing food
Just
down. He is full. Wait, he doesn't want to be rude. Like he is.
I need you to roll a con save then.
All right.
Because
Ellie
if you are
figures if
full
they're-
up, if you are full up and you're trying to put more in, something might happen.
18.
You're fine. You push you pressure past your at capacity stomach, and you continue
Yes.
to fill your gullet with food. It's beginning to stuff a little though. You're feeling a little tight.
Yeah, I gotta slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Burk, are you visibly uncomfortable right now?
I'm just kind of sitting back, just snacking on a little something, just like, I haven't been with y'all very long, so I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Can I roll to see if Burk is like on the verge of showing guilt?
Showing
like a perception check?
guilt.
Yeah, for summoning a demon in this man's town.
Oh, right, yeah.
I thought that's why you were quiet.
That's the reason for like the side eye of
Yeah.
like really just Quinlan is just really trying not to while he's eating a salad.
Can I roll to see if I would know if Burk is about to like confess, or because I don't know Burk that well, right? I doesn't know them that well, so
That would be between you and Burk, my friend.
You think Burk?
Burk definitely has that guilt of like, I'm the one who did this, but I'm not gonna tell you that because I don't know how well this is gonna end up.
Would you think that my passive perception of 20 would pick up that Burk is
Yeah,
having this moment?
That would be enough to pick up really any. 20 passive perception is fucking ridiculous, Allie. I hope that you realize there's
You know,
not a
my
lot
next
that
feat
you're
is
going
gonna
to
be
miss.
alert.
There's not a lot you're going to miss.
My
Like,
next
Burk
feat is gonna be
doesn't like
alert. I'm gonna have
not
20
Oh
passive.
god!
Yes.
Burk doesn't like not telling the truth about
Okay.
stuff.
So Allie catches that, slams their bowl down, and goes.
The
Burk, do you
bard,
wanna
the
dance?
bards stop playing, and they fuck. There we go.
Burk, let's go dance. I just stand up and I just grab your hand, and then if you're gonna try to stop me, I'm gonna try to pull you out of your chair towards the
Burk's
front of
just
the
gonna
bar.
confusedly follow. Burk's really thrown off. Okay.
And
As
you-
we're walking, I was just gonna whisper like, "You have to like have a better poker face, or you're gonna give us away." And just drag
And you
in
kind of
front
like
the
gesture
music.
towards the band as you like. They stopped when you slammed your bowl, and they're like, "Oh," and they play a different tune.
They play Hips Don't Lie.
My, and it comes a fight. No.
I don't know how well Burke can dance, but Allie's trying to get you to dance. proper.
Okay, I need both of you to make performance checks.
Oh, as I
Okay.
see him getting up, I'm gonna cast Bless. I'm gonna be like, I want my friends to do good.
Oh, I'm just gonna burn through
Jesus.
all my second to last.
So both of you add a D4 as well. Also,
Oh,
for
shit, I
no
didn't-
reason at all, Willow, you're also blessed.
For no reason at all.
I'll keep the last one.
All right,
How does it-
so
Wait.
performance checks. Yes,
That will be
Yeah.
a dirty 20.
dirty,
Dirty
20.
20.
Dirty 20.
You guys are perfectly in sync.
Yeah, I was about to say the synchronicity that is immediately picked up on the banquet hall floor as you both just immediately enter into, both of you for your own individual reasons have had to fake a dance, before, and it turns just into a real dance. You have like the
There's not a lot of
coordination.
pretending to dance.
It's hard to pretend without actually doing it, and like pretend, you know what I mean when when you're trying to diffuse a situation like Allie is doing right now, initiating this turns into a good rhythm as a couple more like couples and families kind of dance around you. The crowd looks on and is like, enjoys the festivities. Quite a beautiful sight. But please, any stories you are willing to part your words and ways with, we are willing to listen. And
I mean, I'm a champion of a god now.
he like,
I don't know if this is not a thing I should be telling people or not.
you hear a
have no
whisper.
idea.
You hear a whisper in your ear of Umberly just kind of leaning in, like, "What are you doing?"
I don't have a statue of you.
Ooh, intriguing. Go on then. And the Mayor Drummond kind of looks at you, and he's just like, "Are you now? Is this As he's still trying to finish swallowing the bite he was in the middle of, is this what you were getting up to in your off hours then?"
Yeah, you can say that.
Well,
Just-
to whom's God's chosen am I speaking to?
Umberly.
The bards stop playing again.
Like looks at them and goes, "Do you not know how to do your job?"
This one needs to get a real job too.
Quinlan has his flute at the ready.
Flute at the ready.
Let's go. Uh-oh.
There are murmurs around the room as you proudly announce your newfound close admittance and relations to the goddess Umberlee, the one who has been
private.
the one who has been sworn in legends and tales to be an angry god if spoken about in an improper way, one who sinks ships either at her will or at reckless abandon, the one who not too long ago may have caused massive property damage in the northern part of this island, of this nation. And Grummond looks to you and just says, quite the powerful goddess to have at your... I suppose you are at her beckon then.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here for any, you know. And he kind of like gestures outside to the river and just like,
I am not here on business.
good.
No, this is a beautiful city. I love the town that you have built. I do see a lack of a statue for like where I would go. To pay my respects.
We were under the impression that Umberlee would much prefer her worship to be confined.
Why would you think that?
Well, it's just tradition, isn't it? And he kind of like looks around the table, and you notice that there are some people around you who are nodding along with you, like, yeah, why is that a thing? And there are a couple of people who are like, no, Umberlee, we don't want to incur her wrath, like, kind of like gestures.
Is that visible to all?
Zog's the one who mentioned it. It's visible to whoever is willing to pay attention to the crowd around them.
Zog is now added to the D100 table. You overhear the conversation.
Yeah.
The bumbling Quinlan's just going to interject in his way.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it that has transpired? It is not often that I see someone stumble unless there is a history.
No reason. We will have one put.
My guy.
We'll have one put in. We'll have a statue put in for you at once.
Oh, I appreciate it.
What's with the lack of music, please?
I was just about to say, Zog flicks a gold coin over to the bard again.
And they begin playing the tune that they were playing before. And they're like, the murmuring quiets down at that point to be less so. As Grumman kind of looks to the party and says, forgive my apprehension. There have been run-ins in the past with our fine city being flooded in the flooding season, overly so. Our new construction was to help possibly amend that arrangement to give the riverbed a little bit higher to rise before it floods out our people and towns. And to be honest with you, my friend, there is only one goddess who has more control over the lands, over the seas and waters than those, the rest of those gods that survey our lands.
Yeah. No, trust me, I know. She has done some done her fair bit of things that might put her in a negative light. But someone with that much power, I would say I started to look upon her. Thankful that I wasn't dragged below more than angry about the other ones that have them.
You have a very fine point. Indeed, we must count ourselves blessed underneath the, I suppose, protective blanket of those that she passes by.
So I really doubt she would go out of her way to destroy a statue of herself, if you know what I mean.
You hear a whisper in your ear, I probably would if it's not perfect.
It just has to be done right. It has to tasteful.
And Grumman says, of course, we do have to talk to our granite contractor. He lives in the next town over. It'll be a couple of days, but it'll be erected as soon as possible, as soon as it has been done just right.
So anyway, do you know how that demon got in your house?
Not a clue. It showed up in
Allie is so glad that Burk was not at that table.
I will tell
dip Burk
you.
real quick, put him in a spin.
Yeah, just
Allie is so tiny and Burk is so big.
yeah.
No, Allie is huge.
Allie's not
Allie
tiny.
is big
height.
too? Oh, I keep
Allie's-
imagining Allie is like 3'5".
No,
Allie is,
Allie's a tabaxi. They're not a miniature
6
person.
foot.
Yeah,
Oh,
Allie is
okay,
6 feet
okay.
tall.
I'm big
Burk,
for a tabaxi.
now Burk
Okay.
is tall though. Yes,
Yeah.
Burk is like.
Burk is 6 foot.
Oh, so
so
they're
you
the
guys
same
are-
height.
I'm
yeah.
6'2" to be exact.
So Allie is taller than Burk. So yes, this is a perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
We definitely tower over the other dancers, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
a little bit. Yeah. Well, I mean the average. You know, you come a little above some, a little below others, but a little above some, and Grumman just. Where was I? What the hell? Not a clue. I will tell you as honest and for true. I was sleeping in my quarters when all of a sudden there came a clattering and a large wave of heat and noise. And before me stood that Malak Bell. Well, whatever it ended up being, a who's it, what's it, I started dipping into that was
Yeah.
me dipping into
Yeah.
DM knowledge in table, not over table. When standing before me was a who's and what's it, a madam, a demon, and he.
Trust me, I feel you. I've woken up next to a demon plenty of nights.
just kind of like looks back and says,
That
"So you know the
aside,
feeling then?"
Yeah.
Well,
I was
Could you
married once.
Perhaps, Lord Mayor, read anything before bed.
wait, can you say that for me to hear as a?
Did you perhaps, Lord Mayor, read anything before bed?
Read anything before bed?
You know, like a demonomicron, summoning
Yeah,
things.
you know.
You know, just
Language
conjuring
is
Are you at the
shit.
table or not, Allie?
Out loud.
I was over a table.
Yeah. He kind of like looks up in ponderment, and at this point, as you have been sitting around the table, he is in everyone is in their respective chairs, so he's still like eye level with the rest of you, but that's only because his chair is taller than the other ones. And his advisor kind of pipes up. This person was not focused on in too much detail because the bodyguard was kind of blocking your view of him in previous encounter. This advisor of his is what appears to be a slender-faced figure, kind of thin of face and lips, and an upturned crooked nose and elven-like ears, but kind of pale yellow skin and spots on their face and their face and arms. I need somebody to either, as they are speaking, roll a perception check, a nature check, or a religion check. One of the three, only one of the three. I'll allow people to roll so that all three of you may make a check, but you can only pick one of the three.
Religion.
Religion for, okay, nature for Zog, religion for Quinlan. And Allie, you have 10
19.
perception. But you're not
I
at the table.
probably-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not at the table, so I probably wouldn't be paying.
Burk, if you'd like. Or no, you're
Burk's
not on
not
the table
even
either.
doing
Yes,
Willow,
yeah.
Willow, if you'd like.
Distracted.
Okay.
Okay, so Rhys,
23.
23 religion. Wow. Zog,
19 nature.
19 nature. Willow, perception.
Oh, my bad.
13.
13.
Ouch.
This type of being escapes you, Willow. Quinlan. In your experience as a monk, you came into knowledge of the astral plane, the astral sea. It was a long time ago, and you didn't learn too much of it as you focused on your other studies. But you remember that denizens of the astral plane, humans who traveled to the astral plane a long while ago to seek more knowledge of the universe, eventually evolved into what this advisor sitting before you is. A Gith. More
I thought it
specific,
was a GIF.
Gith. 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 No soft G. More specifically, the pale yellow tone would suggest that this is a Githyanki, a more aggressive, more war-torn version of a Gith. Previous experience with enslavement among their people by a specific other kind of being has left them to be a war-torn bunch. In, like, overt D&D lore, in this plane, Githyanki are especially rare because the portals to the astral sea were closed a very long time ago. Like after the events of the calamity, or not the calamity, the cataclysm. Calamity's critical role. After the events of the cataclysm, Zog,
Yes.
the features, the tone of this person. You've only seen a couple of other people like this ever in your life. None of them have ever been passengers on your boat, but you've read about them in books, and you have heard, and one of them was picking up a passenger of yours many years ago, a couple years ago. And for all of that same reasoning, you understand that this is a Gith.
Yes.
Githyanki. He speaks up as he looks to his mayor, and he says, I forgot what the point of... Oh, reading anything.
Yep.
He doesn't know how to
son.
read.
My sire and Thane, you have been perusing the musings of one previous auteur's writings after his recent passing, yes? And Grumman looks to him and says, well, but that's just a collection of stories and poems. It would have nothing to do with summoning a demon, would it? And his advisor pipes up again, Forgive my pushing of the issue, but it has been known that books do have powers to summon if read in the correct cantative way. And this catches you lot off guard, as seems like this is either pot stirring or this is genuine concern on the behalf of this Gith, which would be more like their no-nonsense nature.
During my time in the monastery, Your Grace, we did have a couple of occasions where people would read something and then in their sleep mutter, repeat, because it's stuck in their head. And, well, once you've seen a dorm room destroyed by a rogue fireball, things are as they are. It happens.
That is hilarious. Please take an inspiration point for that. That's great. And he says, oh, This was no mere wizard's tome or spellbook, my friend. It's a collection from ages ago, like very shortly after the cataclysm took place. Newly revised, edited, and published after a couple of decades and centuries of being lost and retranscribed. I was lucky enough to get my hands on a copy at an auction. But very few of these books have ever been released to public eyes. But I assure you, it is merely literature. No spells or rituals that I can decipher from my readings. Allie and Burk, you are kind of reaching a natural end to your dance as the bards kind of like, the music kind of dies down a little bit and you hear them kind of go back into a regular cadence, just background music.
That was absolutely lovely, Burk. Thank you.
Thank you. I needed to collect myself before said anything.
You're very graceful as you collect yourself then. Shall we return?
Yes, we shall.
You guys come back to us. So how does one summon a demon?
And as they're making their way back, I'm just gonna kind of end it because I was gonna end it with the next line anyway.
Okay.
Well, no matter how it happened, these creatures they do take their chance where they can. It is now handled.
Exactly. He has been sent back. He has been sent back to exactly where he belonged, as per his request, as per his want, if you could call it that. He was rather insistent after you left, and after I made my way back into my quarters. I do not know what you did. I do not know what you said to convince him. But whatever it was, it certainly helped matters. Lord knows what would have happened if he would have his original demonic way with the rest of our fine town.
Yes. Well, it was quite nice to get a little warmth after dealing with the depths of water so much, I will say.
Well, that's definitely one way to put it. Still, as you're walking up to the table, this is just kind of where the conversation landed. It's still, regardless of how he was sent away, it boggles the mind of how he arrived in the first place. But with it dealt with, it is no concern of mine until it is brought to my attention again, and it hopefully will not for a long time. And he kind of looks over to you, returning to the table, Burk, and says, I understand that you, the primary benefactor, having been of, well, gesturing and saying of demonic blood yourself, it certainly helped matters. And for that, we must thank you above all others. Your communication with it is most sincerely appreciated.
It was all of us together that worked to conversate with the demon in the first place. So I can't take all the credit.
And humble as well. Truly, truly remarkable group you have assembled here. Well, that is enough pattering for me. I have some other matters to attend to. Please, stay as long as you like. Enjoy the rest of the festivities. Enjoy the rest of the food. And he stands and walks of his own volition without being carried by his bodyguard. Over to what appears to be a couple of other, like, what could be considered advisors or government officials standing against an opposite wall. And you all have the head table to yourselves. A human walks up behind Zog and kind of like looking along the rest of the table, just like, so sorry, and like scooching along and stops behind you, Burk. It's like, what you did was simply fantastic. Could I have your autograph? And he holds out a parchment and a quill pen already dabbed in ink. Just a blank parchment. There's nothing on it. It's not a picture. It's just a blank piece of paper.
I was just about to say, make sure you read it before you sign it.
Yeah, there's no words. It's not a
blank.
It's just a completely blank page. No.
Wait, what was that?
Nothing.
Don't trust that. Oh.
Never trust that. Never trust it.
It's just a completely blank page.
Invisible ink? No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Invisible ink? What?
Be
Crazy. No.
Careful, Burk. That could be worth a lot of money someday.
Yeah, you could be like famous.
I doubt it. I mean, I'll entertain it. Yeah.
And you just...
Burk just spells his name missing one letter, just so it's like B-U-R-K instead of B-U-R-K-E. Just so it's that one little bit off.
Pulls it back.
Just in case.
Describe what your signature looks like for this young gentleman.
I mean, it's nothing too crazy. It's his name just in normal text. He did it.
Normal
Signature?
text.
Cursive?
Cursive? Nah. I'll just
Why waste
print
time
my
on that?
name. I'll just print my name
Print
in
my
my
name, yeah.
handwriting.
I mean,
Wow. And he
Yeah.
just kind of like, thank you, and backs away. And and you see one of the another halfling, not the same halfling boy who was like a barker for the rest of the crowd, but a different halfling boy kind of walk up to the group, just behind the group. And it's like, didn't mean to bother you, but I just wanted to thank you so much. It was quite a scary thing quite a brave thing you did for us. And it's just so nice to know that there are good people like you in the world still. And he kind of like holds up this like, looks like a contraption of some kind. Looks like a weird looking contraption. And then all of a sudden, a large flash of light, and all of a sudden, apparating out of the bottom of the device, a parchment, a different parchment, a stiffer parchment. And then all of a sudden, an image apparates on the paper like magic. Almost like a perfect mirror copy of a moment in time. And he says, and he like shakes it again, and the image kind of like distorts a little bit. He's like, yeah, I need to get finer ink. Well, this is yours if you want it, and holds it up to you, Zog.
Yeah, by all means.
You grab it, and it is a warbled instant photo of the moment of you all just kind of sitting around the table. But it's warbled in that like there are bits and pieces of the photo that are like shifted and like it's wonky because the ink didn't have enough time to dry. Yeah. So it's just like,
You managed to get all of us blinking at once, which is more impressive than our eyes open.
Well, the flash definitely didn't help. Yeah, just like
we're all like a little like, oh fuck, like
what?
This is what wait, I look really closely, Mike. Is anybody in this group secretly a vampire?
You look at the photo, and Sundial is not in the picture. No.
Dude, Sundial, he's under the table.
A plasmoid vampire. Yeah, he's just a puddle under the table. Why does that sound
Just
awesome?
so he can have a Mike Wazowski moment.
Yes.
Yeah,
The song,
like
yeah.
there's like a blur of where one of his fingers was blocking that part of the quote unquote lens of the contraption. It's just like, oh my gosh, I'm in a
right.
pictograph.
Well, if this is how the whole night's gonna go, I'm gonna go get myself a drink, and maybe I'll go dance because all these thank yous are making me feel weird inside.
Oh, these what?
Thank yous?
Oh,
If you'd like a partner, let me know.
Yeah, by all means.
I was
And-
going to say the same.
Oh,
Oh,
feel free,
Uh,
Quinlan.
I've never been in a love triangle before.
I can be patient.
oh.
As can I. And ladies first.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll warm him up for you.
Wow, holy shit. Allie and Zog performance.
Seem to forget that
This
Allie
is-
is a bard.
This is how couples
Wow.
happen.
Allie and Zog performance checks, please.
I get a drink first. Does that change my performance check?
A
You
drink
know,
and then a
I-
performance check.
I am not as graceful as y'all.
Ooh,
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna burn inspiration on that. I don't want to make a complete
I
fool of
saw
myself.
that.
I got 13, and I'll keep it.
13?
I've already danced once.
I rolled
And the
an
music
8.
is different this time.
8?
I rolled an 8. I burned inspiration to get it all the way up to a 9.
9.
Oh.
Fantastic. So a
I'm gonna
13
blame my
and a 9.
performance on Zog's performance.
Yes.
As
I'm bringing you
so
down.
as you so as you kind of like stand this is like a more traditional, like, there are no partner. You forget whether you go to the head or the shoulders first, and then you're like no. It's a more traditional, everybody kind of lines up next to their partner and they kind of dance at the same like rate and kilter. And Zog, you are falling behind. You haven't
Yeah.
heard this piece because you have been on the water for so long.
Who is Cotton Eye Joe, and where did he go?
You'll get it eventually.
this
It's
song
okay.
about?
It's just
And you, Allie, try to keep tempo between the rest of the crowd and Zog to try to make him feel better, and it like lags a little behind.
Allie, I don't.
at one point I start to count quietly, hoping that will help
Yeah.
the song. Keep him on count.
I'm trying. I swear. No, I don't.
You're doing great.
Never
You're doing
okay, no,
wonderful.
I appreciate it. Is everyone looking at me? I feel like
No,
everyone's
you look amazing.
I should have taken off the armor before I did this, shouldn't I?
It might have
Like,
helped a
it's-
little, yes.
It's a
but,
little clankety.
but you look majestic with the armor
Oh,
on.
do you? Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Like a knight.
Wait, I have to grab a prop. Hold on.
Oh no.
Like a knight in shining armor.
I feel like a court jester that got to try out an outfit for it. To
As-
be honest.
As Zog is just like dancing on the courtroom floor, and you just hear. Just like
Oh, at one point the band like looks over like confused where the off
where the
beat
jingling is coming from.
triangle's
Yeah, where the
yeah.
offbeat jingling is coming from, and it's just what? What is happening? Like,
So everybody 1 2 step.
1, 2, and step.
1 2 and step.
Willow.
Shit, I forgot about the and.
anything you'd be willing to contribute? Yeah, I haven't been coming to you too much today. What are you thinking?
During their little spiel,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cast Druidcraft on his armor just to make it a little more shiny.
Ooh,
Oh.
I am now a disco ball.
Yeah, I was about to say it like causes a disco effect, just like rays of light, just tiny rays of light, just like shooting off in random directions from Zog's armor.
Really quick appreciation for fantasy. Whenever you do this with your hand, I'm like, oh, some weird shit's about to happen. Whenever
Yes.
this is in your brain, I'm like, something
That's
great is
fantastic.
going on.
And at the end of that interlude, Allie and Quinlan you find your way to swap your places.
Quinlan, I'm dying out here.
Help. Just
Help.
All right, one moment. And I go over to the band and look them up and down, think about the song selection, and ask them to play let's see.
let me see what these sound like. This is under Age of Sail. That's just straight up shanties. That's just
I'm only gonna say do a
That would
shanty.
be perfect.
I was going to suggest one of the shanties for him, just to make it easy.
I can do a shanty. There is a real timeline in which Zog said fuck religion and became a pirate.
yeah, there is, and you came awfully close to it.
That's just his retirement plan, isn't it?
Yeah,
Honestly, yeah.
There you go.
this is
Is this public domain?
this is on tabletop audio. It's I imagine that this is a public domain version at the very least, because it like a publicly available version. Oh my
Alright,
God.
And then I go back and you'll probably want a performance check.
Yeah, and I'll do another one.
Can I give
Yes,
inspiration to both
performance
of them?
Bardic inspiration, of course, yeah.
Ooh.
What's your bardic die?
You get an additional 1d8
D8.
for both of
I'm,
you.
I'm using it.
Ooh. That'll come in handy if I could stop pulling D6s.
I got a 17 this time.
Ooh,
17.
That'll be a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 and a 17.
Warmed
As
up.
the shanty fills the halls, you kind of feel the spirit of the crowd kind of pick up as everybody is joining in, and just like, way, hey, and up she rises early in the morning, and everyone's just like jigging, like very lively, and everybody's just kind of hopping to the tune, and it's a fun crowd all of a sudden. Like everybody's dancing all around and just singing along to the shanty. This is, at its heart, it's still a river town. It is very heavily connected to the water. Lots of fishermen and fishermen adjacent things. And this song definitely pulls a rise out of its townspeople. Sailor, what will you do with a drum? As
And Zog just kind of like jiggying? Jiggying?
put
act
it in
of
a little
jig.
jiggy with it.
Yeah.
Cutting a jig.
Quinlan is just kind of like very happily like, oh my god, thank you. As like, I'd assume, I don't actually, this might be just I've brought this up with people, very few people know. Sea shanty nights at bars and whatnot, there's a drink swap. When like everyone's dancing, everyone swaps whatever drinks they're drinking while dancing. I'd assume Zog now has a hand of whatever the fuck it is in it. As he's just with Quinlan, like, thank you. Like,
Just like
Of
dunk your
course,
hand
as I
down
s-
to like grab onto whatever drink is on.
yeah.
Okay,
And-
you pull back up with a flagon, and it seems like it is full of something.
Down the hatch.
And as after that's
Frost Kiss
You say
Ale,
that?
nice and cold, nice and hearty.
Yes.
you say that, knock that back, and Quinlan says, "Most welcome." As he sends you into a spin and then brings you back, and your tall frame coming back into that like spin.
Yeah.
Like, oh, usually they're shorter than me.
I've never been manhandled like this. I don't.
Oh my god. Eventually.
Real quick, during that,
Yep.
could I notice any table that was just kind of like not doing like any sing-alongs or anything, but there's like conversation?
There is a
talking.
table that is having none of this, and it looks like it is. There's a couple of people sitting at this table, very enraptured in the conversation that they started before the shanty began, and is continued during the process of it. We'll move away from.
Okay.
We'll move away from the shanty and back towards the ambience just here real quickly. There we go. So, back to the ambience of it. Just imagine a little bit more of the shanty going on in the background as it comes to an end. Burk, are you gonna try to stealthily engage with this table?
Are they nearby, like one of the buffet tables?
There are a couple of just like circular tables scattered around the room. There's
Yeah.
not like any set fixture. The main buffet, like the main table was in the middle of the room, like all the way up the middle of this long rectangular room. So the circular tables all kind of surround it, and in like a haphazard manner. This one is in one of the darker corners of the room.
Do I want to try this? And it seems like a really interesting conversation.
From the outside looking in, whatever it is, it's not interrupting. It hasn't been interrupted by the shanty.
I'm good at this. I'm good at this. It's fine. Yeah. Like, I'll kind of do, like, I'll be back. I'm gonna get up and do, like, a wide circle around the room to get to that table.
Of course.
Just trying to stay...
Passing in and out of people, just like, way, hey, it up, she right? And,
Yeah.
like, passing in and out of those kinds of people, and then coming all the way around to this table in the corner. Make a stealth check with advantage because of all the rest of the commotion.
This one. Wait. 18?
18. All right.
Plus
You managed to find a spot where there's these people kind of dancing around, but you are within earshot of the table while remaining out of sightline with most of it. It's a nice. You found basically the perfect eavesdropping spot for this table. As you kind of stand there and listen, you hear a conversation in hushed tones. Almost completely drowned out by the music, but you have your ear kind of directed just in the right way. We just recently got served a letter from the commissioner. It's from Petal. They're saying that they want to send more people as envoys. Another person at the table says, envoys, really? That's what they're calling them now? Feels like they're getting their grubby little hands on everything they can get within arm's reach of themselves nowadays. They said it's fine. They have an option. They have an option for a non-intervention clause. I've had my team read all over it. Despite their ways, they are being peaceable about this, but there's an offer on the table. An offer? What do you mean an offer? What I'm saying is that if we let them come in and do their business, whenever the time comes that they reach here, whatever it is, that the quote that they gave us was that they'll leave it better than they found it. We need to bring this up with the mayor, obviously, but you know, it's worth the consideration. Are you crazy? Those Petalites haven't the slightest idea how to be non-intrusive. They're gonna be all over the place soon. You already heard about the protest on the river, blockading an entire passageway just to try to change people's ways. Whatever it is they're trying to do, they're not going about it the right way. No, sir. We should at least listen to them. Burk, you kind of like duck behind a pillar as you see like one of them like looking up to check around and see if anyone's listening. And they go back to themselves and they continue the conversation as if nothing had been seen. They rolled a 5. They didn't see jack shit. And they just continue and they say, there's a better time to talk about this. Let's enjoy the festivities, whatever. But mark my words. Everybody deserves a chance to be listened to. Whether or not they're willing to listen is the real question. And it's at that point that group kind of stands up from the table as the shanty is ending, and they kind of applaud with the rest of the crowd. The rest of the crowd kind of gives a loud applause as the shanty comes to an end. And the rest of you kind of see fit to... let's see... Need to find the here it is.
Got to sundial really quick, standing at the food table. So what's that one? Some guard. Roast pork. So what's that one?
So what's that one? Yeah.
Yeah, once
So.
they got up and everything, I'll head off from them.
Mm-hmm.
Just, oh,
As you are kind of walking back to your table, you see that the group that was at that table walks to the other side of the room, in close proximity to each other, approaching Drummond and his advisor and his bodyguard. Eventually, as you sit down, they stand adjacent to each other, and you see them engaged in conversation about something. But we continue. Anything else anybody would like to do at this brunch?
No, as it ends, just give Zog a big hug and go back to the table and finish eating my salad.
Nice.
Exquisite dance.
Thank
Good job.
you.
I imagine that, like, Sundial had one more bite to eat and he just, like, passed out in his bucket.
Yes.
Just,
Yep.
like...
Food coma.
Yeah, food coma. Just, like, you hear, like, a burbling coming from his vase of him, like, snoring.
Just, oh, okay, buddy. You can
Okay.
sleep.
So, as the rest of the festivities kind of come to a close, you see that the band is, like, playing a gentler tune to kind of ease everybody out of party mode and into, all right, everybody's got to get back to it. And
Right, this is brunch. We've been
Yeah.
going hard. This is brunch.
Drummond kind of like stands at the head of the table after the conversation between this group of unknown advisor or unknown socialites and Drummond and his advisors comes to an end. He stands near the head of the table, up in his chair to stand at the same height as the rest of the crowd, and he takes a mimosa glass.
Ah.
And he kind of takes it in, and the rest of the crowd kind of looks to the head table and says, Drummond looks around the room You've all been a fine crowd. We have officially called this brunch adjourned. You may get back about your regular activities as you see fit. The cleanup crew's got to come in soon and work on this, so please, in an orderly fashion, at your behest, make your egress, and thank you so much to our brave adventurers. And he begins an applause, and the rest of the crowd applauds and cheers once again with the button that I have. There we go. And applause all around. And he says to you lot, thank you for coming by. I'm sure you have a lot to get to with the rest of your day, and maybe send some of Umberlee's blessings our way while you're at it. Why don't you? And kind of like elbows you, and
Yeah, you got to put in the work for it.
fair enough. And he like stops and just well. And
Yeah. So, I always, Zog then turns to the group while everyone's leaving. They're just like, I don't remember where we were going. Puddles, right? Waterfalls? And or
Yes.
did plans change though? We know someone's trying to take over the world.
We can talk about that back at the boat.
Okay. Oh my god, and I still have somebody to bring somewhere.
But
Where is he going?
He said that he would follow y'all into proximity with Newark City.
Yeah, we were going
Okay.
near it. He
Yeah.
was gonna depart where
Yeah.
the river port.
You
but
still
yeah.
have about 5 days
Oh wow. Okay.
on the river. Fidance was day 2 of 7 when the
Okay.
wild magic surge went off and caused this neat little subline.
Okay.
But
Okay.
now
I blame
getting
the
back
coin.
to it would be, yeah.
My fault?
What?
What? Is it me?
What?
Am I the problem? Am
You're
I
not the
the
coin,
problem?
are
I mean,
you?
we could have just
I
not
don't know.
stopped, you know.
The
Just not stop.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
the only
Burke would have felt guilty though. He's like,
Yeah.
Well,
Burke's
Quinlan
guilt
does
is
wanna
not
stop
Allie's
by
problem.
the temple for Talos.
Okay, you're going back
what was
to
that?
the mantle house.
Yeah.
So in the mantle house with the altars and statues to Talos and the rest of the gods of the realm, yes, Thomas, Gund, Talos, Saloon, and Merkel all stand in their refined glory. And it's when you enter into the mantle house, like into the open space that is the mantle house. This is kind of an amphitheater, columns around a large pit of like open worship, and the altars kind of stand either in the middle or along the outskirts. And entering in, you see that people have left like smaller shrines to lesser gods lying in the mantle house as tokens of appreciation for their own gods. And in the process, you come across a very small token, Zog, if you were to look and follow along with this. You do see a small token to Umberlee left, sitting kind of next to, adjacent to the Talos shrine. Like, you know what you're fucking doing by if you're worshiping Talos, then you are slighting Umberlee or something to that equivalent. But you know, it's one of those. And a proper statue definitely has its right set on this place after your comments, especially.
Yes.
But yeah, there are people standing around, and you see a couple of priests dressed in non-specific regalia. Basically, these are priests who are... They are just here to help you worship whoever you wanted to worship. They are well versed in the pantheon, in all of the gods that you could worship, and are willing to help you in whatever way they can. And they say, "Blessings to you this day, my child. Welcome to the mantle house. We have places of peace and offerings for your prayers and worships. And with our limited skills, we can offer you tokens as well for your worship. And
Much
you see
appreciated.
they have kind of like a side inventory setup where you can purchase relics, or just little like
Knickknacks and doodads.
not necessarily knickknacks, like incense and burners and like scrolls of these various like schools and offerings and rituals, and it's offered. And you see an herbalist on the other side of the temple crafting potions for weary travelers.
I'm gonna head over to the potions.
And he
I'm
seems to
gonna
be
make for Talos.
to the Talos thing. All right. Potion man. Yeah, take me by the hand, lead me to the land that you understand. And he's just kind of like standing there, all hunched over, long gray beard, not dipping into the potion cauldron, but dangerously close. And he's just kind of like stirring a big cauldron of potion together. And he kind of like sees you approach and turns and is just like, this batch is nearly done. You can wait for about 5 more minutes if you'd like.
I had a quite odd question for you, actually.
Indeed. I can answer all kinds of odd questions.
It's not very often I get to talk with someone who works with potions.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not going to do this without you being chill with it. May I cast a spell on you that will not hurt you? And you tell me if there is a potion that feels like what I'm doing.
He kind of like stops, lets the spoon go, puts his hands to his hips and kind of turns and waddles over to you. And he's just like, now that is an odd question. Feel free to mimic whatever effect you'd like. I don't know what effect it went to another thing. There we go.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh no, he's falling in love with me too.
No. He just kind of waddles over. He's like, I love you. No. All right. Waddles over, says, now that is an odd question. Feel free to mimic whatever effect you like, but I'm not sure there will be a clear answer for you.
I cast Enhance Ability on him. Cat's Grace.
Okay. As he
The target
feels
is
his
advantage on
bones
dex
become,
checks, yeah.
as he feels his bones become lighter and his figure become more limber, he kind of like stretches out himself and he's like, enhance ability.
I'm not the
Well,
most limber one, and it would save me a lot of hassle if I could drink something instead of constantly keeping up with the magic side of it.
well, I do know that there are a series of recipes that can mimic enhance abilities properties for each and every effect that enhance ability can provide. Yeah. I believe I could do something like this for you. But you would have to give me either time or ingredients, one of the two.
I don't have either at the moment, so I guess time.
Well, if I had my time to hunt down what I needed, I could probably brew up a cauldron brew that would fit about 5 flasks of this potion for you. But if you've got somewhere to be, it's going to take precedence that you get on your way, because it would take me the better part of 2, maybe 3 days to find what I need. Unless you have for me essence of unless you have for me essence of catfish tail, and possibly even some ashes of balsam weed.
Could I instead just pay you and you write down this recipe for me? I know
No
it's giving
need
away
for
trade
payment.
secrets.
No need for payment. But do know that this is a very carefully attended to recipe. What I would ask of you instead of payment is that you, well, let me in on one of your little, let's call it a favor for whoever you're praying to today.
Oh,
My kids
I
have
get you
not been doing
chickens.
so well, and, huh?
I could get you chickens. I have a bunch of chickens on my boat.
Sounds like a fair enough trade to me. And he writes down and just hands a piece of paper to you with a recipe for enhance ability draft. He specifically gives you the Cat's Grace one, but he says ingredients can vary depending on ability wanted to enhance. More specifically, for the enhance ability Cat's Grace, he asks, the recipe calls for equal parts, excuse me, equal parts water and myrgrass as a base, with a, let's see here, with a suspension of cattail, more specifically, cattail like the plant cattail, like a reed,
Yep.
the water reeds. Essence of catfish tail, more like, and the, yeah, and the, oh god, what did I literally just say? The balsam weed, the ashes of balsam weed. Mixed for it. Well, he gives you the cauldron recipe, but the potion recipe might be a little simpler.
Oh, I did not mean to.
And that's about, yeah, that's about it. And he's, aw, and you go back to your boat and you offer up, you bring back one, unless you
Doubling
wanted
chicken.
one doppel chicken.
One doppel chicken. I'm like, this thing will multiply if you just leave it alone. Don't kill it tonight. Don't try to eat it tonight.
Well, it's already
a day.
dead. Doppel chickens naturally multiply until you cook them, not until you kill them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let it make another one before you cook it, so you can then like keep going. This thing kind of solves world hunger, but we're not going to get into that.
Well, this is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much.
And I will pray for what you have going on.
Safe travels. And he goes back to his cauldron. Now, to the Talos altar.
Yee.
Laying on the altar are previous offerings. A handwritten prayer, some gold coins, a night orchid plucked and placed in a vase and placed on Talos's shrine. All kinds of various, like, traveler's offerings to Talos, standing with the altar sitting before a large grand visage of Talos himself. You swear that as you stand in front of it, you feel almost like the rumbling of thunder.
Is it familiar? Like this type of rumbling thunder? Is it?
In a sense, you feel the same kind of presence that you normally have roiling around inside you at all times, externalized. It's not so much an external stimulus as it is a mirror. in this moment. But it is nothing more than a statue, a visage of Talos himself. Unless a prayer is offered up, there is not a lot more that a statue alone can grant.
Okay. I will produce a
The coin. No.
sandalwood incense
Oh.
from my pack and my monk's gear,
Oh, nice. Okay.
and use a nearby candle to light it, and set it and begin like a meditative prayer
Mm-hmm.
in an attempt to reach out to Talos for answers.
As you kind of meditate in the presence of this altar and of this statue, you feel the incense reach out to collect both your own soul and the essence of the icon before you. And a very tenuous connection is made. It's very slight, it's very dull. But with another light thundercrack, you feel the wind around you whirl and kind of toss up into a sensation inside your own self. As you hear a loud, thunderous, thunderous yet gentle whisper kind of enter into your mind. What doth ye seek, child of the storms?
Understanding.
Understanding comes with time. Time that you have not yet spent. Spend more, and understanding will come. As you feel the feeling kind of drift away, as the connection just falls away tenuously, like a leaf in the wind. A very light, modified version of the commune spell can be cast through an altar with each offering. The higher the value of the offering, the longer you have with commune. But with no previous connection to a god, any offering is going to be lesser, unless you've already devoted yourself to whatever deity you are offering to, in this temple, at least. Or temples similar to it.
Okay. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I have. I still have my original rope dart. For some reason, I'm still carrying that, but that does have a lot of value to him.
It does.
Gonna place the original rope dart on to the altar.
Mm-hmm.
And try to commune again.
With the personal value of the object laid upon the altar, a violent wind passes through your eyes and your ears and your soul. And the whisper turns to a conversational volume as it kind of, as you see, you swear that you begin to see the visage of Talos in the statue move ever so slightly in this state. And it looks kind of, in his grand crossed stance, kind of eases down and looks down to you.
Well, you seek understanding in a different way. Please, elucidate so that I may answer in whatever way I can.
What? What are you talking about? Just like, this is bullshit. Like, no.
I just said such a weird word to use.
What? What?
Elucidate.
Elucidate? I love the word elucidate. I learned
It
about
is
it
fun.
recently, and it's just like such a great word to replace, like, clarify it for me. Speak.
Enlighten me.
Enlighten me. Yeah. But, yeah.
Enhance so that I may answer in whatever way I can.
Very well. Well, when I was much younger, I was caught in a storm that did not seem natural, more divine in nature. And in my studies of nature and the monkish ways, I have learned that that was possibly a sign, a calling, which has led me to try to understand what it was and who may have been behind it.
In manners of storm and gale and tempestuous wind, the father of storms is definitely a noble and mighty source. To which
Which is
storm
why I have
specifically?
sought you out.
To which storm you specifically speak of? There have been many called, and there have been few to listen. But there have been even fewer to seek out, to seek out and find. You have an air about you, quite literally, in one sense or another. The elementals of the water and of the air, and those sought to it, bound to it by their nature, all have an innate connection with that which brought them into being. And in a way, I could be considered an assistant. In familial terms, an uncle. Your true nature of your parents led to your birthright as what you were, by way of being blessed by the storms themselves. Your connection with me will always innately be present, no matter how far or near away from me you stride. This does not imply any sort of worship from you, my child. But it does mean that you will always have a lifeline in every dire, desperate moment. Now, more specifically, if there was something you wanted to gain from this that maybe I'm not exactly picking up what you want here, then feel free to clarify that in over-the-table terms. Because it has been a while since we talked about Quinlan's backstory specifically.
Yeah. He was 8, ventured off into the wilds of Petal, and got caught in a flash storm, and struck by lightning.
Right.
And it really kind of shook everybody that was in that region of Petal, because it came out of nowhere, vanished as soon as it had come.
The Genasi who lived. Yeah.
In a manner, I wasn't going for that.
Yeah.
But, he's always kind of felt a connection to Petal or In-Quy'zz-ition, this world.
Yes.
Ever since then, that he couldn't quite shake, and he doesn't know what to do with it, but he feels tied to.
In no uncertain terms, Talos attempted to explain just then that a mighty wind and a blessing of a storm can come sometimes at random, sometimes at some people are chosen, some people are called. As he said, some people are called, few listen, even fewer seek and find. Talos has a very tenuous connection to air and water Genasis, in that he has some tempestuous control over water and wind in very specific circumstances. The flash storm that you got caught in might have been a sign from Talos, but there are so many that he has called to his service with that kind of thing. It's not as he said again, it is not an invitation to be of his service, but it is a blessing from him to let you know that you have him in your most dire hour.
Okay.
To call upon. You're not a child of Talos, but you are a niece, or not a niece, a nephew of Talos. You have that like boom. It's not quite divine intervention-esque, but that's as close as I could come to mechanically how that might work, if it were to ever come up.
Okay.
But in terms of the source of your power, your monk, that came from your training and your time in the monastery, and your connection that was sparked by the spark, that lightning.
Yeah.
All of that came from you, baby. That has nothing to do with any God-given power. That's all you.
Okay.
Did that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
He's gonna look at Talos. Is there any chance of control over the storm within without such rigidity?
Only if you are willing to reach out and grasp that control.
I think I understand.
Take care and safe travels.
Thank you.
As he kind of readjusts back to the original statue's position and then freezes in place once again. Now, to everybody around you who may not have been in on your prayer, the statue didn't move. Nothing about the statue moved for anybody else, but the commune created an illusory image in your mind and your mind alone with your offering. And when you look down, your rope dart is gone. No way of getting it back. You can't just like reach out and grab it again. Or if you did, you would be scorned for offering and then taking away. It would be not the best idea.
No takesy backsies.
No takesy backsies. Talking to a god has
No
its price.
No, wait.
No tabaxis. Take tabaxis. What? The tabaxi
Too
slavery
bad.
movement of the
This
1300s.
tabaxi's
No.
coming with us.
The tabaxi enslavement movement of the 1300s.
Oh, have I been adopted? Wow.
No! What are you talking about? All
I'll
right.
feed her and I'll give her little trinkets.
I'll give her little trinkets. Oh my
And
god.
we'll
Tabaxi's
have
a
fresh
lot, right?
tuna.
No. Oh man. Oh look. Oh
Yes.
my
And
god.
don't forget the ball of yarn.
The ball of yarn. And the compulsory ball of yarn. Burk, I don't know if you're muted or not. There
I
you-
was.
There you go. Okay, so we're reaching 2 hours 12 minutes.
Oh.
It's a pretty good at length of an episode. If there was anything else you wanted to do before the end of the day, I would allow a little bit of downtime and then another long rest before you set off in the morning once anew.
We just stopped not too long ago. I don't really have to recoup the boat, do I? We just stopped like 2 days ago.
No, yeah, you restocked
Yeah.
yourself at the
Yeah.
beginning of this week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we're
You were
we're
given
good.
an offering by the club, the club, the whatever.
This is what I'm gonna do. Is there like a nice, fine China store?
Are you gonna get a new dish set?
I might. We'll see. I have in my inventory that I keep staring at. Pretty silver bowl. I wrote it got appraised. I did not write for how much.
Okay. So you're looking
So
for
I
either a silversmith or the or like a
Like a fine,
right.
like a fancy place.
Sure. Well, of the two, you would find a silversmith first in this town,
All right, we'll go to the silversmith.
and you kind of walk in.
Bowl on my head again, just like last time. We did this once before, and I don't know why I didn't sell it.
Bowl
No
on
idea.
your head. Funnily enough, another dwarf.
Yeah, it's his
There you
brother.
Looks good on you.
Love it. Yeah, it
Hmm.
goes that. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow, there you go. Oh, careful.
I'm impressed.
Kind of turns to you, kind of stretches his gut forward, and you hear his back like pop, like poof, like adjust as he adjusts himself, and he's like, "Nice hat you've got."
Do you want it? It's made of silver, apparently. Yep. And he like just.
He tips it down and he
takes
catches it in his one hand,
Yeah.
and he just like turns it around in his hand.
I have no idea why I've been traveling with
You
it.
see him pull around on a headband that he wears, and he has like a jeweler's glass, that like flips down and the jeweler's glass kind of gets the high magnification, and he holds the bowl up, kind of looks through. Huh. Well, I'll be damned. You got yourself a real craftsman's piece here. If it's authentic.
It got appraised.
Oh, it did now, did it?
Let me see
Well.
if I have it in my notes and not just on DDP.
You might. I'm pretty sure I gave you a appraisal price for it, didn't I?
I have nothing in my notes about this bowl. I have no idea. I'll be honest. It was so long ago. And
Well, you have. I know that one thing he did give you was a certificate of appraisal.
He did. He did give me a certificate of appraisal.
And you hand that to him, and he's like,
Yes.
well, I suppose. Are you looking to sell it for raw material, or are you looking to sell it for refurbishment and resale?
At this point, I don't need to carry it. I have so much stuff.
I know what you mean, lad. Well, if you're looking to keep it as is and refurbish it so I may sell it again, I can take it off your hands and restore it for, let's call it 50 gold. But this much raw silver, I could, probably melt it down, use it in my other pieces for, if you don't care about the condition, 75 gold.
Now, 75 gold, and you can do whatever you want to it.
You have yourself a deal, friend. And he sends out his, like, rather large hand. You realize that, and I've realized from my playing through of Baldur's Gate 3, that dwarves having stocky builds also means they have, like, giant hands. They have, like, really big hands for how small they are.
Claws.
Like, human-sized hands on small-sized arms. Pretty good. And he takes it, hands you off a satchel.
Deal.
It's entirely in silver coins.
Oh no.
This is 75 gold's worth of silver. And it's 10 silver per gold.
So 750.
750 silver pieces. Which, oddly enough, feels approximately the same weight as this hefty bowl.
Yeah. What a fair trade.
A fair trade.
Silver for silver.
Silver for silver.
Alright, and thank you, sir. And I just head
Not
back
a
to
problem
Willow.
at all. And he, like, turns back around in his space and just haphazardly, like, tosses the bowl into, like, this melting cauldron, like, this melting furnace.
I really hope this wasn't important. I've been carrying it for so long.
No, it really
Okay,
wasn't.
thank God.
I'm pretty sure you found it in the, in, like, it wasn't a...
We found it in a river.
Yeah,
We
you just picked it up, you just hauled it up in a river.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a artisan piece. I think it was on my D100, like, things caught in a net table, and it
You, like,
was...
The video game in my brain of, like, don't use your elixirs yet. You don't know if you'll need them later.
Yeah.
Like, I kept seeing this bowl in my inventory being like, this might be useful.
No, it was simply decorative.
Okay.
Something
Alright,
for you
well
to
then.
sell for money, and you have successfully have now.
I did it.
So,
I did the quest, guys.
So, as the day comes to a close, you all kind of rest in your boat, and the lapping of the water against the shore and the boat takes you once again quiet as the night takes you. No islands of trash, no will-o'-the-wisps, no assassins. Simply a bright night sky, clear for the first time in what feels like days. You look up and you see the stars aplenty and abound, and the open space above you. The lights of the town dim some of the dimmer features of the sky as evening turns to night. And you all find yourselves at rest. If there's any closing thing you want before your long rest, you may do so. If not, we will begin a long rest.
Allie is absolutely sleeping on the deck since there's no rain right now, and is
No ra-
basking in the fact
Clear
that
in that,
it's
like, no
nice out.
clouds either, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, the moon shines a pale green in the sky. Again, referring to the natural makeup of the atmosphere being turning, like, the sky turns green, the sun turns pale white instead of a yellow or anything like that. The moon shines a pale green in the sky as well, leading to a calming sensation of home. Once again. You had no requirement for a watch last night, until you did, until the boat rocked you awake and caught you unawares, but you didn't feel a need for a guard until that point. With last night's events, however, would anyone like to take watch for the night?
I would offer, since I got to sleep while they were out.
So you take first watch and then sleep on the deck when you're done, and then a second watch would cover you for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zog,
I could do
Zog
second.
would probably. Oh, okay.
There you go.
Uh,
Or Zog. One of the two.
No, Burk got it.
Burk.
Yep.
All right. Allie.
Yeah.
Just checking my numbers.
Probably just shuffling my tarot deck,
I rolled
watching the
I rolled
constellation.
right in between two of your random encounter numbers. So no perception check required. The night simply carries on. In the shift between watches, Allie and Burk, you kind of notice a large streaking star shoot across the sky. Just a rarity in these parts due to the clouds, due to the rain.
Omen, perhaps. Hopefully, a good omen indeed.
hopefully. Hopefully, indeed.
Enjoy your watch, Burke. I'm going to get a cat nap.
Enjoy your sleep.
Rolled in between two of the other ones. God bless America. All right.
Get a relaxing night.
You do get a
Yes.
relaxing
Get
night.
to chill.
Literally, okay. Your chance numbers, your random encounter numbers. 7 and 9, I rolled an 8. 11 and 13, I rolled a 12. So,
Wants us to have a good night.
it's a good night. The night continues on. And all is well during your watch. Zog. As the night takes you, you all of a sudden feel the sensation of water around you, filling you, and surrounding you.
The boat's sinking.
And you find yourself in an underwater temple. The pillars still rise the same as those above land, but you find yourself floating above the floor by a good 3-4 feet. And the ceilings enclose tiny pockets of air from bubbles of natural release of oxygen. As you turn in the space and you feel yourself kind of taken into the scenery around you, Umberlee greets you in your dreams. Hope you had a good rest of your birthday, Zog.
It started off a lot more fun, but I appreciate it.
I'm glad to hear that it went well. So, about that heretic, if you will.
Yeah.
I can have somebody else take care of him if that's not your speed. I understand it was a lot. Like,
Oh,
especially after I just put you through your trials and, you know.
I can be nothing but honest with you. I am perfectly okay doing it now that the others aren't around. They need to warm up to that kind of side of me.
Well, then allow me, and you feel two things simultaneously all at once. You feel yourself being sucked out of what would be like your dream state, your visionary state. And at the same time, the same sensation that roiled around inside you when you were being teleported this morning hits you again and brings you back to the same temple. As you stand there, soaking wet, having been transported this way a second time today. Looks down. No! It's just like, you see this, you are transported into the altar room where you were transported out of.
Yes.
And you see the large, looming statue of Umberlee animate itself once again. And, like, kind of lean down and say, let's make this quick so you can get back to sleep, shall you? And she reaches over to one of the original statues and plucks the trident out of the hands. It's more specifically the two gnomish brothers who were presenting the trident. She picks that trident up, and as she's gesturing to hand it down to you, it shrinks in her hand until it matches your size. So it's not statue size, it is now Zog size. And she says, in the next room, no need for fanfare, no need for interrogation, just make sure that she, well, learns from her mistakes. By killing her, I mean kill her, you know, she'll, the only way a heretic will learn. And she, like, and gestures a wave into a portion of the wall that slides off to the side and reveals a holding cell. Bound and kneeling on the floor with a fishing net over her head, you see a female sea elf, kind of beleaguered breathing. She has been here a while, to say the least. Not to give a specific number.
Yeah.
And as the door slides kind of off to the side, she perks up and she's like, your tactics are never gonna work. And she looks at you. You're not like the others. Who are you? What are you doing here? Are you here to rescue me? Please, it's been so long. You have to get me out of here. And she sees you holding the trident, and you slowly just kind of enter into the room. And she's like, no. No, this can't be. Are you shitting me? And she like turns in place to scream out the like stone wall. And is like, you're not gonna send one of your stupid fucking fish people to do this? And she like looks up to you, and she is donned in a simple half plate with a picture of a full moon adorning the armor. You see a amulet that has a simple brand of saloon on it. And you see her kind of like, she kind of has like, for lack of a better way to put it, fishy eyes. They're very big, round, black eyes. Like, the pupils almost take up the entirety of the sockets where her eyes are. And just a tiny bit of blue on either side of the large iris. And kind of, like, finned over, covered ears to protect ears while she would be in the ocean, if she were.
Yeah.
And she kind of looks up to you and she says, you must be something special, kid.
Thanks. And then Zog just stabs her.
And as it plunges into her, sternum, she kind of like of blood pouring out of her mouth. She spits. Some of their blood ends up on your gauntlets shoes, your like metal shoes, and she just goes,
I'm gonna be going through water anyways.
I hope you're happy living under the rule of a tyrant.
and she bleeds onto the floor. But as her blood soaks into the crevices and cracks of the stone, they get absorbed into the spare room beneath the cobble. It falls underneath, and then silence. And you feel the trident in your hand begin to, like, almost a different power radiate out of it as soon as you struck her down with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk back out of the room. Umberly looks down to you and says, "You are going to be a much better chosen than I thought you were, my son." Wow! Not even a moment's thought.
No, I don't know, I love fun in games, and then just, I don't know, something about this does just right over me.
Perfect. And you see like a whirlpool come down from the statue as it resets to its position, and then the avatar from the party shows up again and kind of like approaches you, places her hand on your cheek. You and I are going to do great things together, Azog.
I think so too.
They're
building a statue for you, by the way.
Huh?
Oh, they're building a statue for you in town, by the way.
I heard.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is much appreciated. Now I can keep a much better lookout on that little town.
Yeah, the mayor's kind of creepy. You'd keep an eye on him.
Creepy? Creepy how?
I don't know. He's so nosy.
Well,
We'll see.
aren't
We'll see
all
what
politicians?
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck? Oh, it went to a different thing again. Shit. There we go.
Umberly, I love you.
I love you, Umberly. Anyway, just the fucking harp twinkle. Okay.
I love this trident.
Trident's yours, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
And she gives you the Umber Trident. So you can modify a trident in whatever. You can either modify a base trident, or you can keep this in your notes, however you wish.
Okay.
It is a +2 trident.
Ooh.
It returns to whoever throws it. So if you throw it, it returns to the wielder in the same action.
Ooh. Oh, in the same action.
Yeah, in the same action, yes.
Nice.
Now, clerics don't get multi-attack, correct?
I don't think so.
If you do,
I've never played a
Most
cleric.
magic users don't.
yeah, a cleric, yeah. So a cleric doesn't get multi-attack. It'll be the throw and return will be in one attack action. If a multi-attack user were to use this, you would only get one return per turn. So you could throw it, it would return. If you were to throw it again, you would have to manually retrieve it or wait for your next turn, and it would come back to you.
Neat.
You have access to the spell Create Destroy Water if you didn't already.
Okay.
And it sheds a holy light in Umberlee's name in a 20-foot radius.
Ooh. This can be like one of those like halfway above table, halfway in characters.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
How, going through spells and whatnot, as I was saying before stream.
Mm-hmm.
Clerics don't get vampiric touch.
No, they
Zog
don't.
uses life transference and inflict wounds so much. I feel like it would fit. It's okay to say no because it's not in the cleric spell list, obviously. But I saw vampiric touch. I'm like, oh, that is perfect.
I see what you mean.
Yes.
You could wait till level 8 and then take like.
I was about to say.
I
Magic
already
apprentice.
have Warlock Initiate, to get Eldritch Blast and a couple lightning spells, Witch Bolt. We can also discuss it after stream before next session. Like we have time to figure out how.
Umberlee, if you were to bring it up to Umberlee.
Zog wouldn't know to bring it up, so I'll leave it off the table for now. We'll wait until like maybe Zog sees it or it comes up.
Okay. So
we'll pocket that for a different time.
Yeah, it'll be for a different time. If Zog were to think of it, then yes, he would definitely be able to bring it up. So yes, you have the Umber Trident. +2, throw and return, create, destroy water, and light.
Okay.
Yes, and Umberlee's light. Oh, and the light that it casts, the same thing I described about the caustics, where like you see lines in wavy water create lines on the bottoms of pools or whatever, like bodies of water, as light passes through it as the water like is churning.
Yep.
The light created by the Umber Trident leaves that kind of effect on the walls too, so it looks like you're walking around with an ever-roiling ball of water, kind of in the hilt, or so the connection where the 3 prongs come out has this ball of water like in the hilt, and that's where the light emanates from. So you do that. Umberlee says, have a good rest of your night. And she
You too.
carts you away back to your boat. The transportation process back to the boat is a little louder than the transportation process coming off of it. But it wouldn't wake anyone who wasn't anticipating to wake up. Burk, you would hear this as Zog, as you hear kind of a splash of water in the captain's quarters, like, and you kind of look over to the captain's quarters and you see Zog, just like, and he has a trident with him that he didn't have he has a trident with him that he didn't have this morning or this afternoon.
Just gonna like head over just a little bit and just like
Battery low.
Oh shit.
Hey, Dippy.
I thought it would last. I thought it would last through the whole thing. I'm sorry. All right. Hold on. Charging battery. Charging battery. Charging battery?
Charging battery.
There we go. All right. Anyway, right at the end here. Perfect. Just go over and peek in.
Like, had business to do.
Birthday present.
Gotcha.
I like that.
Gotcha.
Zog, take another inspiration point.
Oh,
Why not? Burk, I'll give you one too. Good stuff. All right. The rest of the night passes, the morning sun dawns, and another day of travel sits ahead of you. But we will do all of that in the next session of the In-Quy'zz-ition. So, next time we play will probably be December 1st. More than likely, if everything lines up according to plan, December 1st will be the next session back. And we will pick this up then. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening on YouTube or wherever you're seeing this. You might have pirated it off of some other thing. I don't know. Who gives a fuck? Otherwise,
it'd be weird if you did. It's free on YouTube.
it's free on YouTube, so I don't know why you're pirating for something that we might potentially be offering to pay for in the future in case it's ever not free. But if it is, good for you for making it free for yourself. What a weird set of circumstances and words. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, my lovely players, for playing today. It was lovely to have you once again. And until next time, your adventure matters. Roll for initiative. And we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.